Hey everybody, how's it going? Marcos Viegas from behind the camera here in Abu Dhabi, being joined with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, good to see you. Few things, man, I want to get to right away. First off, over in the States, big fight, Jake Paul, Anderson Silva. You're smiling. Why are you smiling?
I know. I was wondering where you were going with it, and then yeah.
What'd you think?
I think that when we look at what Jake is doing in terms of he's 6-0, any other prospect or name or draw would be afforded the opportunity to go through a relatively easy start to their career. Yes, Anderson Silva is not a boxer. Yes, he's 48 or whatever it is, but he's been around the fight game, and I don't think Jake's always going to get the criticism until he actually fights a boxer, and I think he should do that now because I think he's improving. I still, I don't want to discredit him, but I feel like obviously there's only so far he can go in the sport, but he's putting the work in, he's improving, he's winning. Looked like a good crowd to me, a lot of attention along the fight. It's not like, there's YouTube boxing and there's boxing. In my opinion, Jake Paul, although he's yet to fight a boxer, is not really YouTube boxing. Like, he's better than some fighters that I've seen in the ring. So, good luck to him. And I think he's good for the sport in that respect, because it's not, I watch some of the YouTube stuff now, and I've done YouTube shows, I know how big they can be, and it's like, it's tough to watch, right? But this is not YouTube boxing. I feel like he can actually go in there now and fight professional fighters. There will be a ceiling in terms of where he can get to, but just like anyone else, you should have the opportunity to see how far you can go at whatever you choose to do. So good luck to him.
In your eyes, did that win legitimize him as no, he has skills, he could actually, compete, maybe not at a world title level yet, but he has skills that legitimizes him now, you feel?
I don't think, again, I know we had that sort of argument where I said he's average. There's a lot of average fighters. There's average fighters that will be on this card. Yeah, and being an average fighter just means that you're not going to go on and win world championships and fight at the elite end of the sport. And he's definitely one of those guys. He's just, you don't just turn to boxing at 24, 25 and start winning world titles. And that's not him, that's just in general. And you can see by some of the things he does, he's not been around boxing long enough to really, so in that respect, you almost have to respect him more because he's going in there without the experience on these big platforms and under pressure. So fair play to him. I like his mindset. There's a lot of people hating on him, there's a lot of people out against him. He's getting in there and fighting, so you have to give him the credit.
He mentioned after about this Fighters Association that he wants to include MMA fighters and boxers. What do you make of this Fighters Association thing?
I think that any body that represents fighters in general is a good thing. I think half of it sometimes about the PR, obviously the war that he has with UFC and Dana White, and half of it is probably because Marcos, people who find boxing and operate in boxing, they fall in love with the sport, genuinely. You're in love with boxing, I'm in love with boxing. Sometimes it's horrendous, sometimes you think, why am I even involved with this sport? But a lot of the time, it's our life. And I do believe that genuinely he cares about boxing, and maybe he wants to. And I think a lot of it is PR and bluster. But, I don't think it would necessarily be a bad thing. I feel like boxing's, with the Conor Benn stuff as well, I just feel like it's very disjointed. With all the commissions, with all the decision makers, with all the governing bodies, sometimes it's there's no universal body or rule. And I feel like ever since I came into America, I feel like if you look at Britain is governed by the British Boxing Board of Control. Obviously, because of the way the sport works in America, it's governed by different commissions in different states. Sorry. And in that respect, it's very disjointed. So everybody makes different decisions, and everyone's got different rules. I know there's an ABC, but the ABC doesn't really govern boxing in America, because it can't overrule state commissions. So anyway, an interview for another time. But I do feel like a universal body of some type would be beneficial to the sport.
Going back on the Jake thing, I know in an interview maybe a month ago, he said some things about match fixing. There's a lawsuit. Is that still going on?
Yeah, there's an ongoing lawsuit with Jake Paul. To be honest, I like the guy. I don't mind him. But at the end of the day, we as a family have built our business over many, many years and have a reputation across all sports for integrity. We're a global business in a very important moment for us with a lot going on globally. And we're not going to have someone like Jake Paul come in and make defamatory comments about our business that will ultimately affect our reputation. And we can't, we're not fighters, so we don't settle that by fighting or in a ring. We settle that by legal action. And I hate legal action, Marcos, honestly, but at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself. And what he said, Glenn Feldman has also filed a lawsuit. Like what he said about Glenn's one of the best judges in the world. Speak to anybody in boxing. But ultimately, what he said to Glenn Feldman will affect his career forever. And this could affect our reputation. So, we have to defend ourselves in that respect. So he will have to answer that. I had no problem with him, but ultimately we gave him a chance to retract his statement, make an apology, and he just ignored it. And this is the next step to make sure we get it all boxed off.
He did an interview with Ariel, and when they asked him if the lawsuit could get in the way of the Taylor-Serrano fight, and he also had some comments about you. His quote, he called you a snake. Just to respond to that, and if the Taylor-Serrano fight, because of the lawsuit, could there be any sort of blockage?
Not for me. I think he also said it wouldn't get in the way. At the end of the day, like I said, he's very new to boxing. He's very naive around boxing. But I don't mind him. I give him respect, and but like I said, when you're talking about a family business that we've built into a global empire, we're not having Jake Paul say things like that. So he will have to defend himself in that respect, and we'll see where it goes.
This Floyd fight on Dazn, what do you make of it? I know Leonard and him poked fun at Dazn, called it like, hey, they would never fight on an app. Just your reaction towards that?
Look, I think when you talk about an app, apps are quite successful, right? There's quite a few. ESPN's boxing, ultimately, I know there is a linear platform, but it is on an app. Dazn now has a huge viewership, huge audience in America. It's been very successful now, Dazn's boxing in America, in that particular market. So Floyd is now fighting on Dazn. We welcome Floyd Mayweather, and we welcome Leonard Ellaby. I know he's not involved in the fight, but welcome. Everybody's welcome. That's a different kind of fight. It's Floyd Mayweather. It's against a YouTuber. It's going to do big numbers. It's away from what we're doing. But Dazn is now established now as for me the numbers are moreover competing with or outperforming Showtime on a regular basis. So I think Dazn needs the respect as a platform, and it's great to welcome Floyd Mayweather, the greatest fighter of all time, to Dazn.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.